Good evening, good evening. Move door. Can't see all the cool stuff in my room if the door's in the way. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everyone is doing well. We're getting back to doing some more painting on the dreadnought tonight. Because it is Thursday and it is hobby time. Even though I'm still super tired. Been busy at work training a new driver. Got my hat the wrong way. It will get in the way of the camera. So let's get that fixed. Okay. So we left off after doing some touch up on the blacks. Basically getting our first base coat done on these dreadnought legs. Try to make sure everything's running well. Everything looks good. Got the stream up behind me, so if something wonky happens, I can look up and notice that, hey, things aren't going right. All right. So we're going to continue working on these legs. Trying to decide if I should start doing my edge highlighting on this thing or do some other leg armor pieces that I have sitting on my work area here. Everything's primed, ready to go. I just need to get paint splattered all over it. Of course, that piece too. But think I'm going to start on the edge highlighting, which that's one of those things that takes a while. So our first edge highlight, I suppose it would help if I get some water in my brush pot, my paint pot, whatever you want to call it. My water pot for cleaning brushes, rinsing brushes. Okay. Let me adjust my microphone over here a little bit so it's not right in my face or right next to my shoulder where I might whack the crap out of it. But got this pretty well base coated all over. I'm happy with the way it looks so far. Did some kind of glowing energy things through all these grills. I think it came out all right. Did dry brushing on the metal parts for the legs. There will be armor plates that cover a lot of that, but you can't get to this and paint it with those armor plates in place. So our first edge highlight is going to be Dark Reaper for the black armor. Make sure this is shook up a little bit. Hey Jessica, how's it going? Amy, good to see you. Jojo, welcome in. Guitars bass, Jesse Henson. Glad all you could come in and say hi, and hope you all are having a wonderful evening. I'm sorry I'm getting started a little late tonight. We've been doing some vacation planning for later in the year, so we've been a little distracted by that. So a little bit of water on the brush and get some of this Dark Reaper out onto the wet palette. Putting a little extra as to opposed to what I normally do, because this is a very large mini. I know I'm probably not going to need that much, but that's why we use a wet palette, because it keeps the paint nice and damp and fresh, so we can use it stream after stream. Now, eventually I will have to, clean this off and put a new piece of paper on it, but for now it's working. Just want to thin our paint down a little bit. So how's everybody doing tonight? Are you having a good day? Did you have a good day? Are you still stuck at work? Because I've had those days. Super late, still stuck at work. Tired of being there. Rough day? I'm sorry to hear that. Well, at least now you get to take some time, relax, catch your breath, watch some nerdy guy paint little plastic soldiers. Yeah, we're just gonna take this Dark Reaper and start grabbing all the edges of this armor. And hopefully your rough day was caused by something minor, just a mild inconvenience. Nothing major going on, just a busy day at work. I know things are a little rough at work for me right now. The company that I work for is getting ready to move into a brand new building, and it's been causing a lot of problems with the day-to-day routines that we all have to deal with. But the major changeover is happening tomorrow, and I feel sorry for the people that are going to be there dealing with it, but I have a wedding to go to tomorrow, so I won't be at work. So those poor saps will have to finish the move without me, and then Monday morning, when I get back, I will continue my work at our new location. That's, I mean, technically I should say it's my cousin getting married, but it's my wife's cousin, so, I mean, but cousin through marriage. He finally found a nice girl that they are ready to settle down. So we're all super happy and excited for him. It's local, so it's not like we have to really travel anywhere to get there, which is always nice. I've had to travel for weddings before, and isn't always the most fun, you know, rushing through airports and whatnot to get to wherever you're going. Lighting seems a little dim tonight. Let's see. But everything is... Oh, wrong way. Everything seems to still be at its typical brightness. So hopefully y'all can see what's going on. You know, just hitting those edge highlights. And getting too much paint on my brush and highlighting more than just the edge. What are the dimensions measurements on that model? Honestly, have no idea. I suppose I could Google it real quick. It is a pretty large model for a Warhammer mini. Let's see here. Well, I googled dimensions of a dreadnought model and it gave me like a guitar. A 40K dreadnought model. (22 by 15 centimeters). I don't know what that is in inches. So, not sure how all that goes. We use American measurements here. Them inch things. I really should figure out how to do metric conversions. That'd probably help me in life somewhat. Got the paint too thin, put too much on, so that's why we keep paper towels handy for when we have our little oopsies. And of course, there's so much going on with this mini, I forget. Okay, where have I painted it? Where have I not? But it's alright. We'll get it all done. Let's see, I think about 4 centimeters is about an inch, so probably about 5 inches tall, 3 inches wide. I mean, parts of it are coming along nicely. Most of it's, pieces scattered across my desk. But we'll get to them in time. It'll happen. Thank you for all the likes. I definitely appreciate it. As we work on the... Oh, these aren't blueberries, and I don't think they'd get along with Nurgle. That's a little dark to be a blueberry. Grandfather Nurgle might not want to incur the wrath of the Templars. Yeah, we're not a big fan of the Blue Space Boys little rule book. Seraphon rules the universe. Only heretics can read. Exactly. Can't beat dinosaurs riding dinosaurs. Yeah. I will say, as a child of the 80s, I do miss Dino Riders. The toys and the TV show, the cartoon. We had such cool cartoons when I was growing up. They're great. Dino Riders and Gummy Bears and Danger Mouse. Even Rainbow Bright and Pound Puppies. And I'm not talking about that strange piercing. Y'all need to get your mind out of the gutter on that one. Do I play Age of Sigmar? No, not yet. Since I've started painting minis and I've had my wife go to the Warhammer store with me a few times while I'm picking stuff up again. She is fans of a lot of the fantasy stuff, the Age of Sigmar stuff. I told her if she wanted, we could get like the Age of Sigmar starter pack. I can't talk. The starter battle pack or whatever it's called, starter set with the Stormcasts and the Skaven. And I told her I'd play the Skaven so she could have the pretty models. But she's like, no, I don't want you to have the rats. Like, I don't care. It lets me learn a new game system. Thank you for the follow, Rose Gold. Rose Gold Trey. Yeah, I've picked up like one of their like Stormcast freebies for when I need a break from painting my army. I haven't needed that break yet, but I try and get the mini of the month every month in case I do have some creative burnout on the Templars and need to do something else for a little while. Which, speaking of the mini of the month, that is this Saturday, if you are fortunate enough to live close enough to a Games Workshop store. Lore about them entering the battlefield on a bolt of lightning made me like that army. I have no idea about any of the Age of Sigmar lore. That is an area that I have not delved into yet. I guess I'll have to, request that Baldemort do some Age of Sigmar videos, because I love Baldemart's 40k lore videos. So if you're looking for good 40k lore videos, check out Baldemort on YouTube. Incredible voice for narrating 40k. And I don't know the man by any means, but I will promote things that I like and that I think deserve recognition. Which I guess that brings me to, I need to make a retraction from a promotion that I did on my last stream saying Sizzle GG was cool if you're a FPS gamer and you need AI to generate, short little clips for you to make TikToks out of or whatever. Apparently they're changing their service model, they're not going to have a free tier anymore. And so if you want to use Sizzle GG, you have to pay $5 a month. And while it is a neat service, it doesn't work all the time. And for you to have to pay $5 a month to use a service that doesn't work all the time, I just can't get behind that. So I retract my previous praise to Sizzle GG. I just got a notification that something was going on during my last stream with Sizzle. I was like, oh, there's something going on. I've used it in the past. I liked it in the past, but well, now they're making... I mean, I understand you have a business to run and you have to make money doing it, but having 0 free options for people to test it out and try it out is not necessarily the way to go. I mean, even Games Workshop, you know, a super money hungry company, gives people a free option to try it out with the mini of the month and their little push fit models that they hand out at the store to get you interested. But I'm one of those guys that got sucked back in by the Space Marine 2 video game. I think that's been the biggest pusher for Warhammer in a long time. Excuse me. Because I did play a little bit during 5th edition. I have, you know, a decent little Necron army. Of course, it's all the old models before the refresh. But I can get them out on the tabletop for small games. And I have a couple of times recently trying to relearn the tabletop, but I really want to get this Templar army done to really start playing the tabletop again. See you later, man. I'll watch you from the ER. Oh, I'm sorry that you're going to be in the ER. Hope everything gets better for you. But thank you for coming in. Keep you in my thoughts if you got something major going on. But no pressure to discuss that here. But you have a good night and stay safe, whatever's going on. And I'm sorry if you messaged and said what it was and I missed it. Sometimes it's a little hard to keep track of everything. And thank you for the roses. Oh, I just now noticed that. I never noticed that before. Wow. Thank you for the GGs, Silverwing Studio. Thank you for the roses. I can't believe I am just now noticing that there's this little box that tells what people send. I feel so stupid. Wow. I am so sorry for missing those, but now I know where to look for them. Oh, that's embarrassing. I feel so bad. I'm a horrible streamer. I don't know what I'm doing. I promise I will be better. I will do better. I will make sure to pay attention to all the little boxes on my screen. Which is saying a lot because I got a lot of little boxes open on my screen. I've got chat from TikTok, gifts from TikTok apparently that I've never seen before, even though I've streamed on here dozens of times. I've got Twitch chat, YouTube chat, and another window. We got analytics from OBS saying what's going on with the stream. It's like so much stuff to pay attention to. Crazy. Crazy all the things that you have to keep track of. And at the same time, kind of makes me glad, I don't have, I don't do this for a living. I do this for fun time, because if I'm just now noticing that and, this was my business model, I'd be in deep stuff. Like, I've missed how much for so long? How have I never seen that before? That's ridiculous. All right. Edge highlights, edge highlights. Get that stupid little paint goober at the end of my brush. Hate that. Using a fine tip brush, you always get that little blob of dried paint in there. And it kind of makes the tip of your brush a little wonky. But it's kind of neat how, just those couple little edge highlights, make the armor stand out so much more. I mean, obviously it helps with such a dark base color by lightening it up a little bit. And we'll be doing, a couple of rounds of edge highlighting, getting progressively finer on certain raised areas to draw more attention. But I do like all the nice sharp edges on this mini, because it makes it real easy to just catch the edge of your brush, and so you're not getting super crazy with your paints all over the place. Definitely helps with the paint style that I do. I guess it's heavy metal, or heavy metal is like what's on the box art. And I like the paint style, I like the way it looks, so I try to emulate it. When I first started these guys, I followed a YouTube tutorial by Duncan Rhodes, and when I first clicked on the tutorial and started watching it, had no idea who Duncan Rhodes was. And apparently he was a professional painter for Games Workshop for a while. Is now split off and started doing his own thing, Too Thin Coats. So if you get a chance to look into some of his stuff, watch some of his videos, amazing painter. Does, I think, quite a bit for the, miniatures and hobby community with his painting knowledge and skill. Like I said, I will plug other people all day long and other products all day long if I like the way they work or look or how they are as a person. Like, most amazing celebrity I've ever met, Michael Rooker. Awesome dude. Truly loves his fans. I met him at Planet Comic Con a few years ago. Just like a very down-to-earth, cool guy. Like I said, absolutely loves his fans. So, much respect for Michael Rooker. Yeah, this is not an easy part to paint right here. But we're managing. See if I can see if that edge highlight gets the detail to stand out on these little pieces. I love the way edge highlighting looks. I hate how long it takes. And how tedious it can be sometimes. But if it's a skill that you figure out and you get down, it does so much for the detail on your minis. I will say that. You just have to deal with the time and tedium involved with edge highlighting. The way my lighting is set up right now is not the most conducive for the part of the mini that I'm doing right now, because the base casts a huge shadow over what I'm trying to look at on the model. But I think we got it. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna scroll back up through chat. Hey, didn't really say what was going on. I hope everything's all right with the man who erased his name. Just hate to see people having a rough time. Every once in a while, need to add a little bit of water to the brush. Rinse it out. Get any paint globs off of it that are causing problems. But other than that, I hope everybody's having a good night. As I just completely and totally whiff on the spot that I'm trying to paint. But it's fine. Now back here, I do have to be a little more careful because I don't want to get any extra paint down into things that I've already painted and I'm happy with. Thank you for the likes, Jeff. Much appreciated. Mr. Jacobson. My name is Jeff. Sorry, can't help it. Everybody does it. Yeah. If your name's Jeff, hi, my name is Jeff. Everybody's gonna do it now. It's like growing up. My name's actually Daniel. Child of the '80s. Daniel-san, wax on, wax off, constantly. Still to this day, freaking 30 some odd years later, Daniel-san. Like, you're not Mr. Miyagi. I'm not gonna wax your car, paint your fence. One time a kid at Barbara did it for like 15 minutes, and mother probably just let him. Chapter I'm doing, Fat Boy, is Black Templars. Because rule books are for wussies. So here's one of my initiates with a Power Fist. So very much Black Templars. And I really need to finish this base and get him varnished before I start rubbing paint off of that guy. Because I'll be very upset. I'm really happy with how that one turned out. And I know if I keep touching it, the paint's going to start wiping off because the oil's in your skin. Radical, I do Ultramarines, but I bought and finished Crusader Squad. They're pretty cool. That's why I ended up choosing Templars. I started looking at the different minis. And the sculpts that they did for the Templars are amazing. Thank you for the follow, Jeff. Like, the models for the Templar minis are such good looking models. So that's why I ended up going with the Templars. And then of course you get into the lore and you're like, okay, these guys are, kind of badass. Not saying everything they do is the best thing in the world, because they're Templars, they're kind of dicks. That's just how it is. But, you know, there are no good guys in the 40K galaxy. That's just how it is. I read about him at the War of Armageddon book. Yep, the Grimaldus story. I'm assuming Hell's Reach. I don't know if there's another War of Armageddon book, but for Templars, I know that is the most prevalent one. Which one of these days, Grimaldus will finally break out of his box and get assembled and painted. He's currently sitting on a shelf behind me. But ever since I picked up this Brutalis dreadnought, I've been itching to paint it. And finally started on it a couple weeks ago, I think. A week or two ago. Getting the assembly done. And started painting it a couple streams ago. How did I manage to get like a huge smear of paint on this thing? Thank you for the follow, Fat Boy. Appreciate it. And I'm not assuming my viewers are fat people, but you chose your name, not me. And there's nothing wrong with being fluffy. Oh, I hate parts like this. Actually, I have to be careful and use the end of the brush. Can't just kind of cheat with the edge of it. But that's what touch-up is for. And all of my minis end up requiring a considerable amount of touch-up. Because from time to time I will get a little bit impatient and just start slinging paint everywhere. Make mistakes. Like, I want the paint on it now. Oh, well, shouldn't put that much paint on it. Too much, too soon. That's going to bother me until I fix it. And chances are you can't even see it, but right there next to those vents, the first two on the right, there's like this little stripe of paint. And it's not supposed to be there. As I blob a bunch more paint where I don't want it. Half of painting your mini is painting over the spots that you didn't want to get paint on your minis because you painted it the wrong color. Because I have no brush control. It's like some of these spots, you are never, ever going to see them. But I paint them anyway. Okay, so we got our first round of edge highlights done. I think there's I was gonna say there's a little bit of Abaddon black, and then of course I dump way too much water on it with my brush, so scoop some out, put it on the palette, thin it with the extra water I just dumped all over my palette. And come back in here. How did I manage to do that? It's so frustrating. Anyway. We just come back in here and fix our little hiccups. That's why we keep extra paint ready to go at a moment's notice. We are doing Black Templars. Chettle, I believe is what your name is. And it's kind of hard to tell when you're only looking at the legs, but there are signs. But for reference, this is one of my initiates. So definitely doing the Templars. Slowly but surely working our way around the mini. We just got done with our first round of edge highlighting on the legs, what I have assembled of the legs. So we're going to move up to our next shade, which is Dawnstone. And for this, I'm going to swap down to a slightly finer tipped brush and make sure I get a nice point on it. Some Dawnstone on our palette here. Working some Blood Angel Hellblasters right now. Learning how to do plasma is quite fun. I have not done plasma yet. I'm looking forward to it. I have my I have an idea of how I'm going to attempt it. Of course, I don't have an airbrush, but because you see people that do like the airbrush on the plasma, you know, I mean, I've kind of done a little bit of a engine glow effect on the legs here, but it's like you see like people do the airbrushing with the plasma, and then the contrast paints or washes, and it looks really cool, like it's glowing. I was experimenting with power swords, and I think I'm going to do my plasma somewhat similar to that. I'm going to do a white scar base layer, just like I did in all of these vents. So I paint in white scar, and then I have this Frostheart contrast that I'm going to go over that with. And then for the darker spots, I have this Talisar blue contrast. So I think I'm going to be able to get a pretty cool plasma effect with those. But I have not attempted it yet. It is on the list of things to do when I get to that point. But I haven't had to paint any plasma pistols or anything yet. So still waiting in the wings for that. So I use a slightly larger brush with the Dark Reaper to get the lines a little thicker. Now I'm going to come back with a slightly lighter gray and a thinner brush. We're just going to kind of hit those same edges again. doing a slightly thinner line. Trying to keep some of that, bluish gray visible, and then the lighter, what color is this? Dawnstone? Yeah. The Dawnstone gray over it. And thank you, Big Jake, for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're having an amazing evening. And then after this, I'll pick some like super sharp edges, which there are a lot on this, to do a little bit of a lighter highlight to where, maybe a little bit more light is hitting and catching on the different armor pieces. And man, love stuff you do. It's mine and your dad's hobby. Yeah. I'm glad people are still doing the hobby and getting back into the hobby. Thank you for the follow, Chettle. I played during 5th edition, and then of course, like, people are probably gonna get tired of me saying this. Played the Space Marine 2 video game. I was like, oh, I gotta paint minis again. Gotta get minis, gotta paint again. Fortunately, I have a very lovely and understanding wife who lets me nerd out to my fullest. And so now, instead of streaming Space Marine 2 gameplay, I'm sitting at my desk painting Space Marines. I played Necrons in 5th edition, but but I mean, I have almost a 2,000 point. I do have a 2,000 point army. It's just I have a couple of minis that I never put together from way back in the day, and I don't know if I ever will, because I'm so enthralled with these Templars because the minis are just so cool looking. But I am waiting for the new Horde mode that's supposed to be coming to Space Marine 2. Hopefully it brings some new life back to the game. I definitely still have fun the nights that I do play the video game, but I definitely had to get back into painting minis. Blood Angels next update, and I'm assuming White Scars champion. Yeah. I try and keep up with it, but it's just there's so much going on all the time between, real life and painting minis and trying to keep up with video games and new releases coming out for the actual minis. Oh, you stupid thing. Sorry. Let me fix this real quick. TikTok likes to think that I just randomly disappear mid-sentence. I don't know why it does that. It's super annoying. But I start getting this dinging notification in my ear that, hey, we paused your live because we don't think you're doing anything. I'm like literally talking on camera and moving my hands in front of the screen. Don't pause my live. Yes, doing the minis does take a lot of patience, especially if you're doing like a copious amount of edge highlighting like I am on this guy. It takes forever. But if you do take your time, the end result is worth the amount of effort and brain drain that you go through painting these things. Like the way my initiates and neophytes have turned out is way more than what I expected. And it's just because, I slowed down, I took my time, made sure I got the paint where I wanted it, fixed my mistakes as I made them. And if you learn that patience and take the time and effort to do that, you can get amazing results. I'm not some pro expert painter by any means. I mean, you can see my paint doesn't always stay in the lines. But you don't have to be. As long as you're happy with how your mini turns out, I mean, that's all that really matters. At least in my opinion. You'll have those people like, no, you did your color scheme wrong. Nobody cares. You didn't buy my models and you didn't paint them. I did. Your opinion means nothing to me. But there you go. Getting some nice edge highlights on there. You should make life-size things like a chainsword. I have thought about it. I do have a couple of Ender 3 3D printers. I'm sure I could, find an STL and start printing it in sections and then buy the soundboard and everything. The gray that I'm currently using is Dawnstone. I did first highlight with Dark Reaper, and now I'm moving up to Dawnstone. The Dark Reaper is more of a bluish gray. Yeah. Don't have the patience to go all the way in with my angels, but standout models, more time. Yeah. And that's, for whatever reason, that's just what I want to do. I want eventually, when I get to that point where I, get these out of a carrying case and drop them on the table to actually play a game for them first time, I want whoever I'm playing with to just be blown away. It's like, oh, those look so cool. I mean, even if I didn't go to all the extent that I'm going to on these, I'm sure I would still get that response. Just because the models themselves are cool. I don't care what you say. That, and I have a lot of fun doing this. This is my, get my mind off of work, just relax. Obviously, Sanguinary Guard can look great, but 10 How Blasters can be a little sloppy. Yeah, like you're just your super basic guys. They don't have to be as clean. You don't have to do as much detail on them if you don't want to. I mean, if you want to take the time to do all that, good on you. If you don't, you just want to have guys painted to get on the tabletop, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, although I will say, if you do like the 3 paint minimum, like you prime them one color and then, paint like racing stripes and blue and green on them, do better. But I will judge you over that. Other than that, it's like, as long as you're making an effort to paint it, and just, have some neat looking minis. They don't have to be, museum quality golden demon whatever ready. As long as, your minis make you happy, that's all that matters. And probably the number one thing to remember is, don't compare yourself to anybody else. You're already your own biggest critic. And so if you're looking at somebody else's work saying, oh, that's so much better than what I could do, I'll never be able to do that, it doesn't matter. Can you do it to a level that makes you happy with it? I'm sure you can. And just the fact that you take the time to paint these things yourself, I mean, that's way more than what a lot of people can say. Had friends with Big Brother with Golden Daemon in school 20 years ago. Dude was insane. Everything was so dark, like a Chaos Space Marine dreadnought. Just so dark, lived in the basement. Yeah. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that some people they get too far obsessed with perfection that that good becomes the enemy of perfect. Don't get that way. Good is good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. My guys aren't perfect. I've got like little wonky blobs of paint along there. Doesn't matter. It's still going to be a cool looking mini when I get done. And when, this is sitting on the top of it, you're not even really going to see that from like 5 feet away. And don't drop your paintbrush in your lap. It's not good for the bristles. Just FYI. Do as I say, not as I do. Yeah, I mean, as long as you can hold this thing out at arm's length and take a look at it and be like, yeah, that's cool, then you did it just right. Exactly, not everyone to play against is gonna grab my mini, inspect every inch. Yeah, and if somebody's just grabbing your minis to pick them up and super inspect them, slap their hand. It's like, those are your special little things. They need permission before they can touch. I already know I'm gonna get hot when somebody tries to pick one of my minis up off the table without talking to me first. As much time as I've spent on these things, you're just gonna grab one of my models off the table. Ooh, I would not want to be that person. Yeah, hey man, these are healthy, super glue and dreams. Put it down. Yes. Superglued dreams and the will of the Emperor. Hold these Templars together. But yeah, I have so much fun painting these things. This is my zen of the day. The random red dot is back. I don't know where this little fleck of red paint keeps coming from. I don't know if you can see it or not. But it's like right here, there's like this little fleck of red paint that just randomly appears on my Mini. Right next to where I'm painting, so I can't get rid of it until the paint dries. And then I get my dry brush out and sweep it away, and then 20 minutes later it reappears. So frustrating. It's like, where does this little red dot keep coming from? And I chose the Brutalis Dread over the more meta Redemptor because I don't care about meta. And thematically, I think the Brutalis Dread fits with the Templars better than the Redemptor would, because the Templars are all about walking up and hitting stuff. Hey Horde, how's it going? Saw some of your, I think there are new videos. I think you posted some more of your orcs that you're working on. And they are looking very, very nice. He's very nice. It's hard to keep track. Oh, it's so frustrating right now at work. I'm training a new guy, so it's like, did I see that today when I briefly opened TikTok to look at stuff? Do a venerable dreadnought when I'm able to pick it up. I think I know what mini that is, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it. Isn't it the one that kind of looks like it has the upper torso in the dreadnought of a space marine instead of just the sarcophagus? Like it actually has a helmet. I'm a delivery driver, and because I'm one of the few guys at work that does my job right, every time we hire a new guy, I get the pleasure of training them to hopefully do their job right. And to be fair, I specifically asked for that responsibility because over the last couple of years we've gotten some, you know, not the most skilled people, and it's very frustrating because when the regular drivers need to take time off for something, we come back and it is an absolute mess because the guys that fill in for us don't care about doing the job right. They just care about collecting a paycheck, and it causes a lot of problems. Yeah, it has an actual Space Marine helmet and writing all over it. Yeah, that was the only thing that was kind of like, I wish I had more bits to put on this guy, because it's like all I have is the Templar upgrade pack that came with the combat patrol. So I did throw some extra crusade seals on it, and this, I don't think if it'll focus, like the incense burner that goes on the top of the backpacks just happened to fit almost perfectly in this little square on the top of the shoulder pad. So I've got those stuck on it. And on one of the shoulder pads, that was off of the upgrade sprue. Got 13 years on Templars. Not sure. To me, a tamper is something that like pushes dirt down. If that's something completely different for you, I don't know what kind of tamper you're talking about. Don't play Space Wolves, but that level line track. Okay. Don't play Space Wolves, but new dreadnought with claws is sick, and a power axe. I said I've been so busy with, you know, training this new driver at work. I haven't even taken the time to look at the new Space Wolves models. I mean, although I'm not overly concerned with it because I'm not going to start a Space Wolves army, at least not at this point. Maybe many years down the road. I have to finish this Templar army first, and it's taken a while. Mark IV Tamper, Google it. Cool. Let me see. Where did my Googliness go? Hey. Ah, yes. That does look like a cool piece of equipment. Very interesting. I also have a drone behind you. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not really nice to railroad guys. Right now, the warehouse that we currently operate out of, Union Pacific likes to park their stupid train right in front of our warehouse, and there are no other there's like one other access point to get to work, and Union Pacific pulls their train across both access points to our warehouse, so we can't get in and out of there. So annoying. So Union Pacific, I don't know if you work for Union Pacific, but Union Pacific guys get a lot of single finger salutes for me right now. But our new warehouse is nowhere near any train tracks, so I don't have to deal with that anymore. Love your job, hate the company. I know the sentiment. I absolutely do. In Canada. Yeah. The perfect example of love my job, hate the company was, parts of my time in the Marine Corps. Love my job. Don't necessarily like the management. But that's how every job is. The military is no different from your standard 9-to-5 job, except every once in a while we get to play with the really cool toys. Have cool toys too. I mean, I do, have some personal use cool toys that TikTok would be very upset if I showed on screen, so I won't do that. but not as cool as you know, some of the special ones that we had opportunities to use at certain times. They don't let us have the really fun stuff for personal use. Although, if anybody's wondering, one of the largest disappointments of my Marine Corps career was actually seeing a grenade explode. Because it's like you see them in the movies, it's like, oh, it's this huge fireball and everything blows up around it. You go out to the grenade range, you toss one over the wall, and there's like this loud bang and a little puff of dirt. Little puff of dirt. It's like, oh, that's boring. I thought there was going to be like more. But don't believe the movies. They have to make everything extra. It's like defibrillators on TV shows. They got that like big whine and then the ka-chunk when they try and start someone's heart back up. It's like, like you ever see somebody use one, the person they use it on just kind of twitches. Just a little mild twitch. That's it. Like TV makes and movies make everything so much cooler. Hey, Bro Stardies, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Made me forget where I was painting, but it's alright. I do that on my own all the time anyway, so no need to worry. Just working on some edge highlighting. Yes, Brutalis Dreadnought for the Templars. Yeah, when I saw the Brutalis model, I'm like, yep, doing one of those. I was like, even when I was playing back in 5th edition and, saw and was first getting into the hobby, saw dreadnoughts for the first time, I was like, those are pretty cool looking. And keep an eye out, Templars are getting glow up soon. I've heard rumors and rumblings. All I want is like Sword Brother Terminators with cool helmets. That's all I want. Because I know eventually I'm going to get everything that I have painted, and I still am short quite a few points to do a 2,000 point army. And I know Terminators are a big thing, are like, must have in any Space Marine army. And it's like, I want cool looking Terminator armor for the Templars. Because like your standard Terminator armor, but if the standard I don't know if you mean rules wise, but looks wise, because if you put a Terminator, Space Marine Terminator armor together and put the standard helmet on them with power claws, it looks like a giant space mole. That's what it looks like. It looks like, armored space mole. And, you can't change my mind. That's how they've always looked to me. Terminators just have that mole helmet. Like, I'm gonna go dig around in the dirt because I'm a space mole. That's how I deep strike. Not because of this transponder. I dig holes because I'm a mole. You can tell I feel quite strongly about that. Like, oh, just get, some Grey Knight helmets. No, I had to get Grey Knight Terminators, get Grey Knight helmets. So I don't want to just buy, a bunch of super expensive models. I know I can get 3D printed ones. Oh, sorry, Classic Gary. I did not see your message on Twitch. I apologize. I'm doing Black Templars. It's hard to keep track of all the messages everywhere. But thank you for coming in and watching. I try and respond as soon as I see something. But it's all good, man. I had those expectations. Yeah, I appreciate your patience. I have ADD, so I'm like all over the place. I see a message over here. I need some spare marine parts, says the Horde on TikTok. Because I'm live on TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube right now. So, yeah, I bought some, the Firstborn, whatever the original Space Marines were during 5th edition, the old models. I bought some to flavor up my Necrons years ago because Necrons are such boring models. Or were at the time. Now they've got a bunch of really cool models. I'm like, shouldn't have quit playing. I could have had like a really cool Necron army. Now I've just got all their old stuff. But it is what it is. But yeah, I appreciate everybody being patient, watching wherever. I just got so much all over the place. All the time. Get scatterbrained. Okay, I think we're good on that round of highlights. So definitely able to see the edges of the armor plates a lot clearer. Oh, sick! Thank you. Actually, I've seen people use cork on the basing, like on all sorts of videos and stuff. I see people like using little chunks of cork, and I was like, I've got to give that a try. Because I've never done it before, and I love doing basing, and that stupid red dot of paint. Sorry. You'll hear me talk about little red dots of paint that I can see and you can't. And so I was like, I wanted to try it, and I am super happy with how it turned out. So like the larger rock sections are cork, and then everything else, even the tops of them, are covered with like AK rough terrain, whatever this stuff is, the neutral texture for rough terrain. Like everything's covered with that. And then I do after it's primed, I'll do a base coat of Gothor brown, go over the entire thing with some Agrax Earthshade, and then dry brush with some Steel Legion Drab, and comes out, you get like this really cool rough rocky look. Seen cork, dried coffee grounds, and wood chips. I've seen people use all sorts of random stuff. And then, of course, people 3D print extra little bits, or buy extra whatnots from Game Workshop. All sorts of stuff. Okay, so we're done with the Dawnstone. And we're going to do one more, just kind of like looking down at the mini, where we see like this would be raised up, catching a little bit more light. We're going to do a little bit, here and there with some Administratum Gray, which is very light gray compared to the other grays. So we won't need a whole lot of this. And remember, thin your paints. add a little bit of water to this. Yes, always thin. And if you have to make one or you can afford to buy one, a wet palette is amazing. Like, never used one before I started painting again, and since I've gotten one, that's so good. Only been in the hobby 2 years. Yeah. I've been in and out of Warhammer, over years, but I also, do D&D minis. So between my time of painting Warhammer, then to now, like, I've got different Dungeons and Dragons minis that I've done. So I like to keep a couple of those on my desk to show off. And a couple months ago, a local game store was doing a painting competition, and this is the mini that they gave out, and we had to do a pastel color theme. So this is the missus. This one was mine. She got 3rd place in the beginner category. I did not place at all in the intermediate category.
But I did.
I already said that you did.
Hi. Who are we painting now?
We're still doing the
No, but what part?
of the
Oh, no, Nesco.
Yes. Please, puppies, stay out of my paint. It would not be good.
Come on, guys, out.
So, like I said, we're just gonna kind of like look at where the natural light's gonna hit it, and we'll use the like super light gray and just kind of like couple spots on the outside edge of this foot. You don't have to do the whole thing, just maybe where it's got a little bit more scrape or a little bit more reflection from the light. But this is, the lightest gray, you're just kind of hit and miss with it. And then, like you can see, it just kind of makes that front edge, top of the foot, just kind of pop a little bit more. People in the chat are debating on whether they know each other. It's always cool to see like people that have, that are friends on TikTok or have come across, each other in other people's channels, and they're like, "Hey, I know you. I remember you talked to you about blah blah blah." The community's great for Warhammer. I mean, there are parts of it that aren't so great. Yeah, you can think, well, if you're talking about my paint scheme or color scheme, you can thank Duncan Rhodes for that one. It's his YouTube video that I followed for my initial Templars, and just because I thought it looked super good. But like I say, you don't need a whole lot of this Administratum gray. Just picking out a few things here and there. The blue and the black. I mean, I thought it would make it look like it's, powered up is what I was going for. I think it looks good. I've gotten a few compliments on it because I follow other creators. I'm, in the Discord with in various Discords. If you're watching on Twitch or go over to my Twitch, there is a permanent Discord link in Twitch if you want to join my Discord and share the minis and projects that you've been working on. We got a channel for that. If you got one that you're completely finished and you're super proud of and you want to share with people, I've got a channel for that. But all of that is on my Twitch page. Oh, thank you for sharing the live, Bro Starties. Appreciate that. But at some point, I am going to figure out how to do a link tree or what I have to do to get more links on my TikTok page. Because I understand, you know, this is a lot of people's preferred viewing platform now. So I need to get more information over here on how to find me and how to follow me, other than just like, oh, I've got a YouTube page or I've got a Twitch or whatever. Because it doesn't do all the links to everything to make it super easy to find. Yes, I definitely appreciate you spreading the word. Snuggington, how are you doing tonight? I do need to get back over to your page and look at what you're doing again. Because I always forget what everybody's working on. Like, Horde is easy. He plays a Horde army. It's orcs. So I know how to remember what he's doing. Just, you know, getting my zen in for the day and, you know, painting some Brutalis legs. You know, showing off a little leg on stream, trying to get some more viewers. Alright, where'd my paint go that I'm looking for? There it is. Mostly sisters and got, at the moment, one nid. Sisters have the best vehicles. I don't care. Fight me. They've got a pipe organ tank that launches rockets. Sisters have the best vehicles. A flame-throwing stained glass window. Sisters. Like, I don't know who comes up with these minis, but they are amazing. Like, whoever does the stuff for the Sisters of Battle, thank you so much. Whoever does that at Games Workshop, you are appreciated by the community. Waiting for the church drop pod. Yeah, that would be cool. First started wearing Ephraim Stern. Boss. Don't know if I follow you yet, Bro Starties, but definitely after tonight's stream, I will go check out your channel and will most definitely be dropping you a follow. T-Rivs, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So just trying to bring out some more of these metallics. So I'm using some Stormhost Silver where I've dry brushed with the lead belcher. Just trying to get some top lips, edges of stuff to get it a little shinier, even though I know a lot of this is going to be covered up with armor plating. I don't care. I want it painted. I want to know what's under there. It's done. It's painted. If by chance somebody like sneaks a peek through the side of the armor, it looks cool. I don't know why I am the way I am. That's just how it worked out. Yep. Yeah, everybody's got their little, oh, I've got to do this little bit extra. Why? I don't know, because I want to. Painting details on things people won't generally see in a table fight. Exactly. I do it all the time. Yeah, it's because I know. It's like my intercessors out of the combat patrol. I haven't fully put them together yet, but none of their arms are on because they all have the auto bolters. And if I put the arms on with the auto bolters, it covers up the chest, the crest on the chest, and then I won't be able to paint it. Yeah. I will know what is not done on my minis. And some of the things, it's such a simple little detail. Like, you know, dry brushing on this foot and then adding, just a couple of tiny little spots of the Stormhost silver, and it just brings so much more of that metal out. Sub-assembly is my favorite. We paid for the models and paint, and the paint. We don't half-ass stuff. There's just so many cool details in a lot of these minis that, like, if you just slap it all together and you just start painting it, you're gonna miss some of that stuff. You're not gonna get paint on it or not be able to paint it to completion. I don't know how the best way to say it, but it's like you'll notice like certain things about it. I mean, mostly because it's your mini, but it just, to me, it doesn't feel complete unless you do all the extra little bits and bobs and details. And like I said, just teeny tiny little lines of extra bright silver. Just here and there just brings so much extra life out of the mini, in my opinion. But I'm biased, so. But it's like when I started painting around that knee joint, it's like I bet you could barely see that on camera. Now that I've got a little bit of extra super bright silver on there, you can see right in there even though it's dark. Paint extra details, part of practice, paid a lot of money for it too. Had to fix the name because it's singular. T-Rev, alrighty. Like, I ain't gonna win a golden demon, but I would still want my stuff to stand out. Exactly. That is exactly how I feel on a lot of this stuff. Like I said a little while ago, I want that moment where I finally get to drop these guys on the table and actually play with them for the first time and have my opponent look across the table at my minis and go, holy shit, those are awesome. Yeah. I mean, I might actually get to play by the time 12th edition comes out with the speed at which I paint. But it'll happen. And it's all because I'm just like super nitpicky about my minis. But I love every minute of it. Unless I break something, then I'm like, oh, come on, seriously? That broke? No. I got so frustrated. I had just gotten finished with some of my neophytes, and there's a tournament going on at the local gaming store. So I'll just take some, minis down there. Some that I finished, some that I'm still painting, and just paint some minis while the tournament's going on. At some point during transport, one of my brand new neophytes broke their sword. It's like, oh, are you kidding me? It's fixed with super glue. Brand of paint. Pretty much everything I use is Citadel. Just because I've used it in the past, I know it works. I do have some more paints that I used for the painting competition, just to try something different to see how I liked them. I do like being able to squeeze them out with the dropper onto my wet palette, but I am perfectly happy with just using Citadel paints. I've used some of the War Painter. I've used a little bit of Vallejo paints for other projects, but Citadel paints, they work fine. I have no complaints with them. Celestine swords now need surgery 3 times now. Yeah. I said, fortunately, I was able to just kind of push it back into place with a little bit of super glue. I know it's broken. I can tell it's broken because there's like this old blob of super glue on it. But anyone, holding it out at arm's distance is never going to know his sword snapped off. And it's also super frustrating because it's the neophyte that I named because I have a, stupid sense of humor. He's pale skinned with red hair. His name is Brother Seamus. Now, you can hate me all you want, but I thought it was funny. So Brother Seamus broke his sword. That broke crackle effect. If you're getting a crackle effect out of your chainsword, I'm pretty sure it's broke. In the actual sense of using a chainsword. I'm pretty sure they're not supposed to crackle when you use them. Unless you're actively cutting through something and you hear that nice little wet crackle. Oh yeah, yeah. Neophytes aren't trusted enough to use power swords yet. They're still in training. But no, it's all good. It glued back together fairly well. So I said, I'm probably the only one that knows it's broke. You wouldn't be able to tell standing back. But I was still very disappointed when it happened. But I'll survive. It'll be all right. As long as it doesn't keep breaking, then that's where we'll have the issue. But at some point when I do actually start transporting these guys, I am going to get one of those hard plastic cases with the metal trays and magnetize the bottoms of the bases. Yes, Brother Seamus is fine. He's kind of, red hair, pale skin. He's kind of like a Weasley. He just got the hand-me-down chain sword. Oh, right in the busted up war plate. Yeah, that's why he doesn't have a helmet yet. So, because the older brother is still using it. Exactly. At some point, I'm sure Brother Seamus will easily work his way up through the ranks. I have faith in him. Got older brother's power armor because he grew out of it, but don't quite fit him. Yeah. The Emperor provides. And that's why I like being, a fan of so many geekdoms and nerddoms, because it's like, oh, you wanna mix in a little, Harry Potter with your 40K? There's a way to do it. I saw a TikTok the other day. It's like, if you could, without question, teleport in and out of any fantasy world of your choice, which one would it be? It's like, and there's so many to choose from. Saw something a while back. It was a hilarious movie someone did. Care Bear Marines, Bear Stardies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen those. One of the funniest ones I saw on Instagram not that long ago was somebody turned the Sisters of Battle, like a unit of Sisters of Battle, into the Golden Girls. I was like, that's amazing. Yeah, so, yeah. If you have a chance to look that one up, if you haven't seen it yet, it is a 100% must see. Rose is a Sister of Battle. Like, even Rose had a banner that said, like, Saint Olaf on it. It was so good. Such a good concept and execution. Yeah, I keep seeing like a Modelo Space Marine on TikTok, which that one's funny too. He's got his Modelo bolter and Modelo chainsword. I'm a huge fan of people that can combine things that aren't necessarily meant to go together. Like, oh wow, it's already 9:50. I'm not paying it. See, this is what happens. I get locked in and like being super productive. I lose track of time. Fortunately, and thanks Snugs for sharing the live. Much appreciated. Bringing more folks in to enjoy the show. Fortunately, I don't have to get up early tomorrow because I have the day off to attend a wedding tomorrow evening. My wife's cousin is getting married, and I am expected to be there, so I will be there. Like I said, I don't have to get up super early, which is probably the best part of all of it. I mean, your own wedding is cool and all, but other people's weddings are kind of, yeah. We'll still have fun. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's finally met a really good lady, and they are making it official tomorrow. What was that? Oh, thank you, Snugs, for the heart and the roses. I'm sorry that I missed those. I just found that box tonight that tells me like what gifts people are sending, but thank you so much. That's so appreciated. And I just heard a weird noise. Bro Stardies, have a good night. Thank you for coming in and hanging out and chatting with us. I greatly appreciate it. See, there it is. Thank you for the tiny diny. That's kind of cool. But I don't know if do those show up on screen on the stream? Good to meet you too. Have a good night. If I don't follow you already, I will be after this stream. I promise you that. I had a good time talking to you. I keep trying to use my regular paints when I'm doing metallic paints. There we go. I think I have gotten all of the edge highlighting done that I can do on these legs at this point. So yeah, I made some great progress on these things tonight. Very happy with how these are turning out. Helps if I don't put my thumb in the way. And I say that and I notice something that I didn't do yet. Just need, oops, too much. It's fine. Okay. And I did want to do white dots around those, but hold on. I remember the other thing that I was going to do on these. All the little rivets. Make sure I find all my rivets and give them a nice little tap of silver. At least all the ones that I can get to. I know there's one at the bottom of that. Oh, maybe I can get to it. Carefully, carefully. Oh, I got it. Kind of wedged in there. Not the easiest one to get to, but I got it. Okay. Got the ones on the back of the leg. I'm sorry if my head gets in the way, but I'm trying to see in the light here, because these are not easy to get to. There we go. Got a couple little dots of silver in there. Yeah, super happy with how this is turning out. Love it. Holy cow, 5.4 thousand likes on this live stream tonight. Thank you so much, everybody that's been coming in and liking the stream. I don't think I've ever had one go this well. I very much appreciate it. Alright, got 2 right there, and I think I've got 2 more. Welcome in, folks, welcome in. Thank you for joining the live. Appreciate you all coming in. And I think we are good on the legs for right now. So I'm going to have to move on to a new part of the mini to paint. But in order to do that, I have to figure out what I'm going to do next. So I'll close this up. And it is going to be a little while before I get back to the sarcophagus section. Because like I started painting that while I was waiting, or base coating that while I was waiting for my base to dry. But of course now I've had time for that to dry, so I've been, you know, making progress, working my way up, getting ready to order one of these guys. Do it. Do it. Bees do good. Yes. Brutalis Dreads. Very cool minis. I think all Dreads are cool minis, but the Brutalis has just this, you know, little something extra that, you know, I definitely appreciate for a Templar army. But I think I'm going to start working up the leg. I think this one goes on the other leg. Yeah, that's this side. So I'm going to start working my way up the leg. So I'll need to paint these 2 shin guards, knee guards here. But don't exactly know how I'm going to hold on to them and be able to paint everything on them. Let me experiment with some sticky tack. Gonna try making a diorama with 2 other dreads and tactical war suit. Bleh, can't talk. To resemble your brothers. Cool. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good enough to hold that and paint it. But definitely need to do the back side of it first. Just so the back is all blacked out. Need more sticky tack. But not as much as I just pulled out. Yeah, sticky tack is one of those, super great things that you didn't know were amazing for painting minis. All right, I'm gonna get the old big brush out again. Set my legs off to the side. Since there's 4 of us, it would be nice. Yeah. But I will always recommend adding more dreadnoughts to your army. Or simply using them for dioramas. If I had a certain amount of unnecessary disposable income, I would probably have way more dreadnoughts because they're cool, along with various other dozens of minis that I think are cool. But it's gonna try and I'm using a wider brush on these just because it's such a big model. What are the weapons for the dread? I don't know. I don't know what they're called. He's got like the 2 Melta, I think they are. Melta guns at the bottom of the sarcophagus. He's going to have the talons and, what is it called? A heavy stubber that gets mounted to the top of the frame. I think is how this one's going to be kitted out because that's what looks the coolest. Oh, how many does it have? So it's got the claws, it's got the meltas, and the machine gun up top. How all that works out and how many you can use in a single turn of combat or whatever, no idea. I haven't actually learned how to play these guys on the tabletop yet. I'm just getting them ready for that eventuality at some point. Must build and paint the minis before I learn how to play the minis. But other than those, I don't think it has any other weapons other than that. Forgot I have my laptop next to my desk charging. Yeah, my codex is upstairs for nighttime reading material. So I don't even have my codex down here to be able to pull it out and look at what Brutalis Dread is capable of. Because, you know, there's a lot of neat lore and cool stories and whatnot in the actual codex. So at some point I am going to read through it, but like right now I'm just looking at the pictures because some of the minis that Games Workshop has done for their promotional materials are amazing. Absolutely amazing minis. I wish I had the talent that their painters do, but I make do with the talent that I have. I have way too much fun painting these guys. I think they turn out just fine. Okay. Make sure we've got a good solid coat on the back, just in case, for whatever reason, you end up getting a sneak peek behind the curtain, or behind the knee pad, I guess I should say. Okay, so it has 2 melee options, fist with bowl. I'm sure that's a typo. I know it has like 2 different types of fist. One of them or 2 different types of hands. One of them's like claws. One of them's like fingers. The claws look scarier, so that's what I went with. Alrighty. I'm sure I can get most of the painting done with it like that. And I may have thinned that out a little too much, got it too wet. But we will make do. Yeah. I'm gonna have to dip some more paint out. I got it a little too thin. But that's just how things work out. But thin coats of paint make smooth coats of paint. So fist with bolt rifles, then talons and 2 range melta, and bolter in the heavy stubber. Yeah. Yeah, I went for the up close and personal options with the meltas and talons. Mostly because Templars are a very melee heavy army, and their special bonus they get for the Impulsor is a Melta. So I just figured thematically those will fit better. Hey, tabletop guy, thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. Welcome in. Just saw you hop in. And as I say, as everyone, whenever anyone else hops in, Hope you all are having a good night. Or afternoon, day, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. I don't know. You have options of what time of day it is wherever you're from. Fist with bolt rovers in town. Right, yeah. In all, it has 2 sets of weapon options. Okay. I said I'd primarily go with the rule of cool, whatever I think looks the coolest, and then and then worry about the weapon stats and everything at a later time and date. I will say the only time I didn't do that was when I was trying to figure out, what's the best way to assemble the Crusader squad, because there's just so much there. I did Google like what's the best loadout options for it, but since Templars are a very melee heavy army with the chain swords and pistols, I was like, okay, the Brutalis is going to be my dreadnought option because it fits with the melee heavy theme. Darn it. I was going to... I don't know what I'm going to do. Keep changing my mind. Do I want to do white on the knee pads? You can only bring 3 of each dread. 3 of each dread? So you could like... see, that's one of the rules that's a little confusing to me. Can I have only 3 dreads, or can I have 3 of each dread? So like 3 Redemptors, 3 Ballista, and 3 Brutalis. That would be a little ridiculous on the table. It'd be kind of like running a not quite Knights army, just a bunch of dreads running across the table. Which in universe, like seeing that coming towards you would be absolutely terrifying. Like, okay, this chapter has enough dreadnoughts that they're just gonna, send out multiple fire teams of dreadnoughts to cause chaos across the battlefield. And of course, as soon as I get this painted black, I'm like, oh, now I want to do the knee pads white, because I don't think I'm going to have enough white on the bottom half of the model. And now it's going to be even harder to cover up the black paint. It's fine. Let's get out the Corax white again. And put your paints away as you finish using them so they don't get lost or out of order. That way you can always grab the exact one that you're looking for as soon as you need it. Apparently I just like making things more difficult for myself. All right, let's set that off to the side. My regular brush out that I do a lot of my work with. It's just a number 2 brush from Hobby Lobby. These things work great and they are super cheap, like $3 or $4 a brush. Awesome brushes for painting minis. Okay, so do I just keep the face of it or go all the way along? I'll go all the way along the sides with the white. Just make sure I stop where it flares. Get some of our Corax white dipped out. Don't think I'll need that much. From what I see, you can bring up 3 of each individual model. Yeah. So to me, that still kind of falls into like somewhat hazy territory, because like 3 dreadnought models or 3 of each type of dreadnought model. I'm sure there's some forum somewhere that, you know, fully goes into some sort of deep dive about exactly what is intended by the phrasing that they use and this, that, and the other. Not sure. I'm sure there's some like 40k super guru out there that has those answers. Like oh darn it, I can't think of his name. The guy that does it for Dungeons and Dragons. Sage Advice. Can't remember what the guy's name is. I'm sure there's somebody out there that knows exactly who I'm talking to. Oh yeah, that guy. I think his name starts with a C, but I mean, I know I can Google Sage Advice and get his name. But he was like a developer for Dungeons and Dragons. And so people are always asking him, well, how does this item interact with this spell and what effect would it have? And because I think it should work this way, and they're like trying to make broken things in Dungeons and Dragons. So I get a little quiet when I'm trying to do something that I don't want to mess up, and I hate doing large sections of white paint, because for some reason it always ends up looking like grainy and chalky. But when you clear coat it, a lot of that goes away. So just be aware of that. So it doesn't always look like that. But the smoother the finish beforehand, the better the final product will look. Like I say, when you're doing like these larger sections, like I'll paint like top to bottom and then left to right. It seems to help smooth out some of the brush. Okay, I can bring 3 of each individual dread. Alright. I mean, I don't have the money to even attempt to buy all those models and play that way, but interesting. I'm sure in like Tabletop Simulator, people will try that. Which is probably technically what I should be doing occasionally is getting on Tabletop Simulator and finding an actual, functional Templar list while I'm still building my army. Like, okay, this fills out this need, this fills out that need. And not trying to metagame, but, finding out where I have, definite shortfalls in the composition of my army. Although I do know one of them right off the bat is my lack of ranged firepower from the existing minis that I have. In practically thinking of every single model except those heroes in battle line. Okay. So I mean, I know, like, well, we could. I know he's a hero character, but my one question on that one would be, like, would you be allowed to bring? Not that anyone would ever do it, and it's practical, would be practical to do for any reason. But could you bring more than one Emperor's Champion into a battle, and would that be like lore accurate? Not that tabletop games are lore accurate as to what would happen in universe. I mean, I understand, there's only one Helbrecht, there's only one Grimaldus, there's only one Marnius Calgar, there's only one Robert Gurleyman. So that's understandable, but it's like the Emperor's Champion, and 6 of each battle line. But Emperor's Champion is just, it's just kind of a special thing. But that's all, lore questions type thing. But according to the rules, yeah, only one champion because he's a hero character. Yeah. So I always get so nervous when doing like the Corax white or any type of white paint because it seems to streak up very easily. And it doesn't help that, you know, I'm a dum-dum and didn't do this when it was gray primer. So I'm painting over a much darker base color. But at the same time, I'm not doing yellow, so it should all work out. Because apparently yellow is one of the hardest colors to get right, especially over a super dark base layer. Okay, just when doing whites to have them look nice, you know, make sure you thin your paint. Do several thin coats. Take your time. Keep it as smooth as possible. I think that's got that knee. Let's see here. I have two different options for cleaning up that top edge of the paint. One is going back in with a very fine brush and getting a nice clean line. Technically meaning you can run 240 battle line models. I do not want to paint 240 battle line models. That is ridiculous. So I can either use some Nuln oil along the top edge or, you know, use a very fine brush with some Abaddon black and clean that edge up. I'm going to opt for the fine brush and cleaning that edge up. So as usual, get a little bit of Abaddon black out, thin it down, and very, very carefully, right along that top edge. Just kind of cleaning it up, trying not to get any on the white that you just painted, because that defeats the whole purpose. And we will be doing some Maltese cross transfers on the knees because I can't paint them to save my life. For Tyranids, you can reach 6 squads of 20 per battle line. There's 3 of them for total. Nope. See that right there? That is exactly why I don't play and will never play a Horde army. I mean, I understand that you don't have to bring that you're allowed to bring that. But that is too many minis that I would have to paint to be able to put those on the table. I understand that's why a lot of people will play Custodes, because they only need like a few characters or a few models to get their 2,000 point army, and then they can just go from there. Okay. I'm going to very, very carefully, hopefully, not screw this up, and get that little squared section of the knee pad filled with some Nuln oil without getting it anywhere else. This is where folks can see exactly what I'm talking about. I just want to darken that up in there. But not get the Nuln oil anywhere else. This is one of those things where like the oil paints with capillary action that you see folks use on painting streams and whatnot, you know, those fancy folks that got all the good toys to paint their minis. That's where that comes in handy. Like these little things right here. While the rest of us, you know, normies and poors, we got to figure out how to get that painted by hand without messing it up. Head off for bed. Be safe, have fun, keep up the great hobby work. Thank you so much. I think I need to get rid of some of my HQ models. I have 9. Sorry I missed that last message, but thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. And thank you for the compliments. But I think that is a good stopping point for the night. We will come back. When we come back next time, we will definitely be doing the edge highlighting on these. Once we get the edge highlighting done on the knee pads, we will attach them to the legs. and continue to work farther and farther up the legs. Again, thank you everybody for coming by and watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the likes, all the gifts, everything. I had a great time painting tonight. Hope to see you guys back next time. It will probably be next Tuesday when we're painting again, unless I can sneak down here sometime during the weekend. But Monday night we should be back to playing Dungeons and Dragons. Definitely looking forward to that. We're kind of in the middle of running through a castle right now that we'd like to get finished up, but we will get there when we get there. But thanks again for coming by, stopping in, watching, having a conversation. I appreciate everybody that did that, and we will see you next time. So everybody have a great night, get some rest, and just enjoy what you do and do it to the best of your abilities.